3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14.
This one taken just inside the 10.
Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And he takes it all the way across the 40 before going out of bounds.
So here are the Commanders making their way out.
And a look at a guy, definitely got a little razzle-dazzle to him. Can do it with his arm or his legs. Their mobile QB.
And looking for McLaurin, but this is intercepted.
Picked off by Stephon Gilmore.
And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football.
Wow, just one snap in, partner, and the complexion of this game has already changed because for the defensive side, they just handed their offense a short field and a big early advantage. And even though it's only the first snap of the game, we're going to look back on this one and see if it has lasting effects as this game moves on.
First look at the Cowboys offense as Dak Prescott gets ready to guide them.
And what he's thinking about right now is first down, let's find a way to make a big play. Because when you get a sudden change situation and that defense has to rush onto the field unexpectedly, you might catch them having a defensive breakdown or not quite prepared.
And it was really sudden after the first play picked off. Following the interception, here's Prescott. It won't be a sack, but it's no gain, and it brings up second down. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. The first carry now for Tony Pollard. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, falling like a lawn chair.
That was a terrific play, causing a loss. As a middle linebacker, simple. You can either fill holes or you can attack them, as he did there.
Now throwing on third down there, but he cannot connect. So now on fourth down, Mike McCarthy will turn to his field goal unit. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And the Cowboys are going to jump out to a 3-0 lead.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2.
Not the way they wanted to begin things. You had the interception on the first play of the game. The good news, it only led to 3 points.
And remember our conversation with him prior to the ball game? He said they had something special designed for the first play. It didn't hit. Let's see if he can rebound from it and not let it get him down.
To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jones. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 50 catches for him now on the year, and he's got a first down.
That's how you shake off the interception he threw on the opening drive. Come back and throw another strike and gain nice yardage. And I give credit to 2 people on this one. The man throwing the ball and the person calling the plays. They're not shutting him down early in this game.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. The numbers for Zeke from last week. 16 carries, 74 yards, and a touchdown.
And those numbers have both he and his blockers motivated this week. They saw that yardage total climbing, but stopped short of 100. Every one of them has to be driven this week to help him reach the century mark.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 45-yard line. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. But defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
On second down, Elliott. They find some open field here. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. That's good for 21 yards and a first down. Whether it's the toss or the pitch, you get him the ball outside the tackles on the edge. He's a tough man to bring down.
He certainly is, and it makes people wonder on the other side of the ball. Do I really want to deal with him when he gets a full head of steam? At the same time, he's also congratulating his tackle, tight end, wide receiver on that side. They gave him access to the corner and allowed him to build up that head of steam.
He was unable to shake free there. They'll cover him for a loss of a yard. Well, they tried to swing it out left into the flat, complete, but really nice open field tackle.
And they played that one like a great boxer. They were on their toes on that one. They weren't back on their heels reacting to the play. No, they saw it, came right for it, and made a nice tackle for lost yardage.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7. Now Jones. And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down. And this is just outside the right upright. It's no good.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Cowboy offense heading out. Let's take a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. As of this moment, as pretty much everyone knows, they sit alone in that top spot, but nothing is guaranteed. They haven't even clinched the playoffs. So a good start, but a long way to go.
And you know, a blunt veteran inside their locker room has stood up at one point or another and said, you know all this means nothing so far. We've got to cover this, get it done. What do we want to be? It's like winning a title in August, right, in preseason. Doesn't count. Let's go ahead and get this thing done.
Prescott on 1st down. And he is going to go down. He will be sacked on the final play of this first quarter. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession as they've got it facing a 2nd and long situation. Harris running straight ahead. And he'll be tackled right on the midfield line. 8 yards there comes, but they're still stuck now. 3rd and long coming up. On play action, Prescott. Man open, that's complete to Dalton Schultz. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds him for the first down.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. To try again after the sack. Prescott. Over the middle, hauled in by Lamb. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 22 yards there, a first down. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, and tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Prescott on play action. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. the play fake. Prescott out to his left. And the throw there going to be incomplete. So now on 4th down, Mike McCarthy will turn to his field goal unit. From the left hash, a 31-yard attempt. Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it.
Got it inside the 10. Still not a first yet.
The fake field goal catches everyone by surprise.
And the Cowboys' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points.
Big 4th down conversion for the score, and the defense, that is a tough pill to swallow.
Big time for them. How about them just deciding to go for it on 4th down? And, okay, forget the field goal, because that looked like an easy 3 points. Yeah, you might have had a defensive breakdown in there, but they pressed the issue and found a way to get it into the end zone. Give them big credit for that.
The kick team out there for the Cowboys as they run up to send this one away.
This will be fielded inside the 5. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. And they are back down to 500 following the loss last week. Consistency has been a real issue for them so far.
Brandon, you almost don't know what team is going to show up every week. I mean, there's no consistency with this ball club at all. And if we feel that way, I know it frustrates the coaching staff, and it also has to frustrate the key leaders in the locker room. They got to figure out how to get coordinated.
78 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here in this first half.
They keep on the ground with Elliott. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. 10-0 our score.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Throwing Jones. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. To throw on 3rd down, Jones.
And looking for McLaurin, but this is intercepted.
Picked off by Stephon Gilmore.
And the Cowboys are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line.
Well, this is simply a great read by a defensive back. It's 3rd and 10, so he sits right on where the yard-to-gain marker is, knows it's going to be a route around that distance, makes his read, breaks on the football, and makes a terrific play.
Dallas offense set for this next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out. Looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Play action now. Prescott steps away. This is caught. It's Cooks. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A gain there of 30 big ones.
That's a real nice job right there, working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
He's got his man, Schultz, coming across the formation.
17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
But give them credit for a good read right there because they read the man coverage on the right side and sent the tight end a few steps down the field and then angled him to the left on a crossing route. And he was able to get enough separation on this play to turn it into a nice gain.
The Cowboys going to use their 2nd timeout now as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20.
Play fake. Here's Prescott. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Looking left side, and it's complete.
And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. They'll go with Pollard here on first down. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Tony Pollard in the final seconds of the first half. And the Cowboys will extend their lead here just before halftime. So the first drive ended in 3. This time they take it down and punch it in the end zone.
So that first drive felt like they were just gathering knowledge, didn't it? Just enough to kick the field goal on the first one. And the second time they put it all together and got it all the way to the end zone.
So 6 seconds, all that remains of this first half as the kick is away. From the 6. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33. Here's Jones. A final shot before break. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. All right, we'll bypass the halftime show in favor of returning to this late season game with the teams coming back from the locker rooms here a bit early. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Fields it right around the goal line. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. The Cowboy offense set to go to begin this third quarter. This offense set to begin the third quarter, and Charles, if they had a checklist of things they wanted to accomplish in the first half, certainly at the top of that list would be having the lead, and they've got that here.
That's always the most important box to check, isn't it? But also, they've had some success in their passing game, so probably an empty box establishing the run. They're on pace for fewer than 100 yards in this one. So now they want to make sure that they get that going so they truly have a control in this ball game. And down the stretch, being able to be balanced, either throw it or run it, and try and win this ball game.
He's got a man, complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. It's a gain of 34.
They came out with an aggressive mindset to start the third quarter, and I wouldn't be surprised to see them take more of these type of deep shots as this game moves along. They connected there. They expect to connect on more before this one's over.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down. Now, these two teams, you might remember, met earlier in the year in Arlington with the Cowboys winning that ball game. So they're looking for another win here in Washington to take the season sweep. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Throwing, Prescott. Toward the left sideline, but it's incomplete.
Like somebody thought they had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
First down marker at the 31. It's 3rd down. Here's Prescott. Rolling to his left. And that is incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
And his kick here is good. And that will extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. And he's sure looking like a lock for a 1,000-yard season. Don't know if he's going to get it in this game, but he'd probably like to just to get past that point.
Yeah, and if he doesn't, as you noted, there's still time, still opportunity. There's still more games to be played. So, yeah, it's not a lock, but barring injury, it certainly looks like he's going to get there. And what an accomplishment accomplishment that is. Anytime you get over 1,000 yards, you're celebrated in the NFL.
It's been quite a season. Still a couple chapters left in that book, though. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
I'm getting the sense that this offense is getting frustrated. Here we are into the third quarter, and they've had plenty of opportunities to get in sync. Thus far, that hasn't happened. They're looking for answers both on the sidelines and in the huddle looking at each other.
And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. Up the middle, here's Elliott. And some room to run now. And a very determined run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 27. Good effort. 91 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. And they get Jones for the 3rd time in this ball game. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. They'll run with Pollard to begin the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
On 2nd and 12, Prescott. And this one too low. He released that awkwardly. It almost looked like a pitcher who gripped his fastball a little too hard and let it go late, and it bounced in front of the plate.
Yeah, one of those fastballs that ends up at 57 feet, not 60 feet, 6 inches. Just a little short with the arm, which is unusual because we saw him in warm-ups. He's got a big, strong arm when he delivers it with confidence.
So nothing doing there. And that's going to bring up a 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the 3rd. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. That's taken on the 25. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. Well, here we go on the next drive for Washington. As this offense takes the field against CD. Remember, last drive, they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the 2nd half. Out of the gun, it's Elliott. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Still a couple yards short of the 1st as the 3-yard gain brings up a 3rd down. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we play. Back now at FedEx Field. Let's go. Washington on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Operating from the gun, Jones. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And he finds McLaurin. And they're going to get this up to midfield. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line. Week after week, we're seeing plays like this from him, and I think he's in line. We've discussed it before for NFL Defensive Player of the Year.
And a big reason why, I think, is because of his ball skills. And that's something that, for guys of his position, they've talked about it for years. They've done the drills. But they've really increased it in recent seasons because of the offense have gotten so good. He knows how to take the ball away. That is huge for a defender.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 21. So the drive's going to start with Pollard, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Going to run again here with Pollard, and not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Now it's a bootleg with Prescott. He'll buy some time right. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26. Here's Brian Anger now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. It's been a tough go for them. It's still without any points here in the 4th quarter. And a big deficit, Charles. But they moved the football on some drives. They just haven't had any points.
Yeah, and I know in their minds they're thinking the game plan has actually been working. We just haven't scored points. Well, isn't that the bottom line, partner? To put points on the board. So if you're moving it and you're not scoring, is it really working? Right now, they've got nothing left to lose. They might as well go for broke.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Micah Parsons in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
I remember throughout my career hearing defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed.
I spy a couple of extra defensive backs on the field for Dallas.
Cowboys in the dime on 3rd. Operating from the gun, Jones. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Trayvon Diggs. And the Cowboys are going to take possession of the football. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now a give here to Pollard. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Sometimes you're aligned perfectly and the play comes to you, and sometimes you got to cover some ground to go make the plays we just saw there.
We saw a great example of perseverance right there on that play.
Got to be careful. They might want to put one over his head as this game progresses.
And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. What a difference a week makes. 5 interceptions in their last game. Here we are, 4th quarter. He's played mistake-free football.
And I'm sure that we can look back on the past week and say, okay, he spent time in the film room and they worked on his mechanics. Sometimes it's just your team believing in you, your coaching staff believing in you, and you relax and play to your potential. And he's doing that in this game.
And he's got it down to the 28.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Well, Prescott here to throw. His throw incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate
that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. That's Deron Payne with a sack that time. And, well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. He's going to need a little mustard on this one. It will be a 51-yard attempt. And his kick is good. And that will extend their lead even further.
So this one will end in a victory for the Dallas Cowboys. And this was